Anybody would like to share? Let's make it interactive. Many people, so it's more nourishing then if you make it interactive and then talk through. Anybody had or currently have something really, I want to get this. If I get this, I'll be happy perhaps. Such dreams.
Come to Europe.
Come to Europe. Very good. Thank you. What was the thought behind? That if I come to Europe, maybe better lifestyle, quality of life is better. Right? Because nowadays, I know Raghav Prabhu is from India, so Indian job market is quite good. Pay is also quite good. So one of the reasons coming to Europe might be better quality of life, less pollution, better water and air. Good. Anyone else? Feel free.
And the past and for the future.
Yeah, dream is always for the future, right? But you can also tell that I had this dream, but eventually I let it go. That's fine. But current dreams are perhaps more useful if you have something. Yes.
Getting a good job.
Getting a good job. Very good.
Do PhD.
Huh? You want to do a PhD in neuroscience or something like that?
Yeah, middle something.
Yeah. Sort of remember from last year. Yeah, why? No solid reason, but you just want to get a PhD. It's okay, sure.
Earlier there was plan, but now
Okay.
it's like.
Okay, good. Anyone else want to share anything?
To rise to high ranks.
Huh?
To rise to high
So,
ranks.
rising to high ranks in office, in the career, that's good, very good. So the idea behind that is getting better salary, getting better position, more freedom, Hare Krishna, more freedom, right? Okay, good. Anyone else?
Not a dream, but a need.
Okay, you have a need, okay.
Yeah, I require accommodation, student
Okay,
accommodation.
you want a student accommodation. That's more like,
Basic,
Prabhu, you're talking
very
too much
basic.
in let's talk something which is very, very practical on today's basis. Okay, good. Anyone else? That's it? That's what you have?
To have a new temple.
That's amazing. Yes, we can see it. Let's buy a new temple in Berlin for sure. That's Sachinandana Maharaj's dream, so it will happen for sure. Right? So that's going to happen. Now Krishna tells in Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto, 2th dhava, there is a secret of getting your desires, dreams fulfilled. Just align that with Krishna's desire. It will manifest. Srila Prabhupada had a dream that he will have 108 temples in the world. Krishna manifested that. Right? So it's very simple. We can have any dream, just we need to align that with Krishna. So the moment we align with, because whatever Krishna desires will anyway happen, they will manifest. So thanks for sharing. Unless somebody else has anything else to share, let's dive into it. Now I want you to think, not just nice to have dream, but anybody in life have experienced that I really, that's like Prabhu is telling now, that's more of need, but a dream which is like, I really want to. Unless that happens, my existence is useless. That sort of feeling ever? And you're really focusing on this should happen. If this doesn't happen, it's as good as non-existing.
Completing my masters.
The final days of thesis maybe would perhaps feel like that. Okay. Anyone else? Anything else?
That's about it.
I mean, there are two different, in my case, there are two different things I want to achieve. First of all, I want to achieve love of God, of course. So, and secondly, I also want to do something in this world, so some occupation. And I was working for approximately 25 years now in a certain business, and I I never wanted this to do, but I was conditioned in a certain way, and now I want to change. So this, and I have how to say, I have an inclination for something. I exactly know what it is, but it's not so easy after so much work in this one thing to change. So yeah, but I know what I know it would be a better service for Krishna if I would work in that other direction.
Okay. Thank you for sharing. Yes, anyone else?
Yeah, I can also relate a lot with these words. I've also been for many years in a position, and I really, 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 really want to go out from this 9 to 5 life and have something, Yes, also be more at service with my possible profession.
Okay. So feeling sort of locked in the
Yes,
in the
like wasting time in these 8 hours in the office in front of a computer, and I don't want to stay there.
Yes.
I really want something else.
Yeah. Okay. Good. That's
It also depending which phase of your life you're
Yes,
in. When,
yes.
when you're thinking of
finishing
studies,
masters,
you're
yes.
then when you're there, you don't want that anymore.
Yes. Yeah. Good. Let's recite a few verses from Srimad Bhagavatam before we start. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto. What is a good way so that I can, or maybe you can just go online with the base is 6th canto. So you all have a reference to recite back. It's chapter 11. Verse 25. So that's 6th chapter, 6th canto, 11th chapter, verse 25. Yeah, most of us have it, I guess. So please repeat. Nanaka prishtham nacha parameshtyam.
Nanashtam nacha paramishtam.
न सार्वभौमं न साधिपत्यं
Na sarvabhaumam na rasabdipatyam.
न योगसिद्धिर् अपुनर्भवं वा
Na yoga siddhim manvadam.
समञ्जसात्वा विरहय्यकाङ्क्षे So this verse, we'll come to the context of it later. Meaning, the person is telling, we'll see later who is reciting this. He's telling, na naka prishtham, na cha parameshtyam, na sarvabhaumam, na rasadipathyam. Saying, I don't want liberation from this world. Understand what is liberation? Like a few of you told, I feel stuck in the job, I feel locked up in the job, I want to change, So we sort of feel bound. Getting out of it, totally, absolutely, it's called liberation. Right? Meaning that there is no necessity. Most of us, perhaps, if we don't have the factor of salary or pay slip attached to the job, perhaps none of us would be doing what we are doing, or maybe only few of us, because we are not meant for hitting keyboards anyways. Right? Not that somebody just comes along, I'll do this irrespective of whether you pay me or not. Right? Hardly anyway. If somebody is really motivated, it doesn't matter, I just do it anyways. Majority of the workforce will just give, sorry. Right? We do that because there is an associated package which comes with it, and then that makes, okay, I'll do it anyways. But then, because I'm doing something which is not natural to me, which is not based on my prakriti, I feel I need to get out of it somehow. So now extrapolate that feeling to everything in life. Perhaps many of us feel that at times I experience things which I don't want. Right? Anybody who is here who consciously thought that I need to get COVID? It's been a few days now, not a few months, a few years. Right? But I want to experience that. In our sane mind, perhaps we don't anticipate such things, but then it happens anyways. We get flu or fever or cold or cough or headache or whatever we do get. Right? Our situations in life, maybe all of us would be just extremely happy if everybody just comes and tells, "Oh, you're such an amazing devotee. Let me just serve you, and then we'll just keep giving you all the glories, and we'll just serve you prasadam and just take care of you. And you don't need to do anything." Right? Some of us are very happy, maybe. So I can just focus on what I really want to do. So binding is something which this Prakriti has imposed on conditioned living entities because of our own desire, of course. We have been wanting to get bound, and hardly we have ever asked this question that I want to get out of this binding. And tell a story so that it's a dull morning. I want to make sure that I'm excited. And tell a story. This is in the context of a person who had lost his wife, later mid-age. He's alone. In English, you call him as a widower. In Sanskrit, the name is Vidura. Not Vidura, Vidura. So he has lost his wife, and he's living a quite lonely life. Yeah? So to get rid of loneliness, one day he found a parrot in the market which would speak. See, many times people keep pets, right? With this feeling that I want to have someone with whom I can interact with. In modern times, people keep dogs or cats. I don't know who exactly defined them as pets and everything else as eatables, but anyway, somebody did it and everybody's following. So this guy found a parrot. If you deep dive into it, the need to be connected is something which is the necessity for the soul. Always feel this need, right? That's fulfilled in many formats. The whole community, aspect of humans and families and everything is built around this thing, one precise need that I need to be having this connection. Anyway, this person feels, at least there is somebody now, there is some companion, right? I can talk with sometimes. The seller had already told it doesn't. There's a very special parrot, doesn't speak all the time, only sometimes, right? So the person brought it home, and he would wait that someday maybe the parrot would speak. It wouldn't really much at all, and after a few days had passed, in that town there was a Bhagavad Saptah which was organized. Usually sages come to the villages in India or towns. They write something called as Bhagavad Saptah, 7 days recitation of Bhagavatam, and many people gather to hear. So this person thought, anyway, I bought this parrot, it's not speaking much anyway, so I at least go and listen from this sage what he has to speak. So he prepares himself and then he's about to leave. And that time, parrot spoke to him for the first time. Where are you going? And the person told, well, he's first of all happy. He's not cheated, right? The parrot does speak. So he tells there is a sage who has come, he's going to give Srimad Bhagavatam Saptah, so I am going to visit him. Parrot nodded its head and then, do you think you can ask questions there? And the person said, yeah, usually after the session there is questions I can ask. The parent said, I have a question which you can ask, perhaps. And the person said, sure, I'll ask, no problem. What is the question? The parent said, I want to know, how do I get free? Okay, I'm going to ask. We went to the session. There was Bhagavad Katha, eventually over, question answers. And the person asks at the end. The speaker asked, are there any questions? So he tells, I have a parrot. And this is not my question. It's my parrot's question. The parrot has asked, how do I get free? And the sage just started staring. Just staring. No talk at all. After waiting enough, the person just got frustrated and just left home. Just went home. And when he entered, the parrot asked, so, how was it? The person said, amazing. Many times I give class and people comment, Prabhuji, amazing content. So I ask, so did anything really matter? Do you want to do something? Then they start thinking, right? What really happened? What exactly I want to follow? Or do I really want to follow something? And then they comment, oh, amazing class, Prabhu. And then I ask back usually when people tell that, so what did you like? What do you want to do after this? And they go blank, right? So the parent asks, so what did you like? And what was really important? The person went blank. Then anyway, the parent asks, okay, so I had this question, did you ask? Could you ask? Yeah, I did ask. So what was the response? And the person said, well, I just got a stare back. There was no answer. So the parent is like, oh, okay, great, no problem. Next day, it's usually at the same time, they do sutta. So next day again he's going and the parent asks, where are you going today? So actually this is 7 days, it's going to happen every day. I will be going every day. The parent insisted, can you ask this question again? Yeah. What was the question? How do I become free? The person is like, yesterday I got a stare back. Anyway, this parrot, I'm happy that it's speaking, so at least with this I can build a relationship, right? Maybe he'll tell some answer and you can speak with it and maybe. So he goes, class is over, asks again, Guruji, I want an answer today. Parrot has this question. He re-emphasized today, I need to get an answer. What is the question?
How do I become free?
The moment sage heard this, he just felt almost dead. Totally unconscious, breathing but almost dead, and everybody's frightened. What? He's just unconscious. And the guy felt, my God, like what's there in this question which is making, yesterday I just got a stare back, today I asked and this guy is like almost dead now and there's commotion everywhere. He's just so lost. Just totally lost. But he could just give an answer, right? Anyway, goes back home. The parrot asked, so, did you get an answer? The person said, well, I asked, I'm being honest, I'm trying my level best. I have asked the question. The moment I asked the question, the sage just fell almost dead. I don't know what's that specific, so special in this question that it's, I can't get an answer for this. And as soon as the parrot heard this, the parrot fell dead. And the person is so lost now, like, what's going on in my life? Just put yourself in this situation and you have a parrot, you have passed your mid-age, you wanted a companion and you have brought this and then what would you do?
Go to sage and
Go to sage again.
Open the cage, see if it's alive.
The guy went to fetch water, brought water, hurriedly opened the cage door and then sprinkled water on parrot. The parrot just flew away. Yeah. And the person is totally lost now. Okay. So he goes back to the sage now and asked the sage, Guruji, like I'm so confused. Hare Krishna. I'm so confused in my life now. I don't know what's going on. This is what happened. And Guruji asked him back the question. So your parrot had the intelligence to ask, what?
how do I become
How do I get free? When will you ask the question? How do you get free? That's a question to all of us. Right? When will we ask this question? How do I get free? We all want to, perhaps in some way or the other, want to become free. That's the inherent nature of the Atma that wants to be free, not under the jurisdiction of karmic reactions. And it took some time for the person to even understand what's going on here, right? Because he got a question back. What was the question? When will you ask? Okay. Parrot had the question, parrot got the answer, parrot got free. When will we get the question? How do I become free? And then we perhaps go and sincerely seek the answer for it. And we will be given the answer, right? That's the whole, how this whole Prakriti is set up. That the moment you seek, you'll be provided with an answer. So, coming back to the first verse of it, first line of the shloka which we are reciting. The person who is reciting, he's telling, I am not actually desiring liberation. I'm not seeking life in Hare Krishna, wherein I don't need to suffer. Natakaprishtham, nacha parameshtyam. I'm not seeking, I'm not wanting to have absolute control over my domain. Nasaruva bhaumam, nasadhipatyam. I don't want enjoyment. I don't even want heavenly pleasures. Na yoga siddham. I don't want the Ashtasiddhi. If someone performs yoga as the process, you go to Alps, Appalachian, Himalayas, wherever, just control your mind and senses. Just start focusing and doing meditation. Eventually you will start getting siddhis. If I'm really doing it right, even today I can do this. If I want. Siddhis, like one can become larger than the largest, smaller than the smallest. You can float in the air, you can float in the water, you can walk on the water, you can appear somewhere, disappear. You can do whatever. Yesterday it took almost 10 hours for me to come from Amsterdam to Berlin. If I was having some yogic siddhi, I could just disappear from Amsterdam, appear in temple maybe now, crossing all the traffic, So, these are yogic siddhis, which, so the person says, I don't want them. Right? So, then you say, he's just telling, I don't want this, I don't want this. So, what do you really want then? He's negating some of the most cherished desires of people in general, right? That's what we want, right? Anybody here, just not, we were asked before about if we want to get COVID. Like hardly anybody thinks that I want to suffer, right? It's been a while, so let me get some suffering. Right? Nobody thinks like that, right? We all think I want to become happy, isn't it? Some way or the other. I want to uplift the quality of life, uplift the way I live, a little more comfort would be better, always. We may cover it up with, oh no, yeah, I'm doing it all for Krishna, but anyway, that's another way. But none of us really want to, okay, it will be nice if I can get fever some days and then I just lie down and then I think of Krishna then. We don't think like that. This person is sort of putting, the biggest desire sort of out of the door. You can't, like Dhruva Maharaj went to perform austerities with the desire that he wanted to get a kingdom which is bigger than his great-grandfather's kingdom. Dhruva was a 5-year kid. Sometimes kids do this, if they feel that something is not going the way they are thinking, they're like, I'll get bigger. They go and ask their parents, this guy is not giving me a toy, I want a bigger toy. Right? Maybe you have seen or you have done yourself. So Dhruva wanted to, he was somehow not given the right just experience in his father's lab. So he's like, oh, my father is not supporting me. He's a king. I want to get a kingdom which is bigger than not his father's, not his grandfather's. I want to get a kingdom which is bigger than his great-grandfather's, which is Brahma. So his father was Uttanapada. Uttanapada's father is Swayambhuva Manu. Swayambhuva Manu's father is Brahma. So Dhruva goes with like Apple releases, right? iPhone 15 Max Pro, whatever. So he's like Desire Max Pro. Like biggest and all uncovered desire. Then he goes and then he performs his austerity fully intent. I just want this, nothing else. Nothing else satisfies me. I just only want this. Unless you have experienced that in life, it's a bit difficult to sort of comprehend. Maybe I don't know how many of you had experience in your youth or now or whenever that if you're in love, I have to live with this person, otherwise there is no meaning to life. I need this person to live. So Dhruva had that kind of, I really want this. Then eventually he gets the vision of Vishnu and then he perfects his samadhi, and then when he really experiences that spiritual transcendental bliss, he feels whatever I came for was just broken pieces of glass. And I had the desire, and Vishnu is ready to give that. Okay, Dhruva, don't worry, I'll give you. I'll fulfill this desire which you had. He tells that I'll make you the king of Dhruvalok. Basically, Shvetadvip. It's a spiritual exhibition inside this created universe, but it's a spiritual place where Kshirodakashayi Vishnu resides as the presiding deity, and Dhruva is the king of that place. Like Dhruva is basically the Supreme Personality of Godhead is one of the subjects of the place. Dhruva is the king, and Dhruva feels why I came asking for all these things. Bhagavatam tells Dhruva statement is, I came seeking broken pieces of glass. If you think about it, what does it mean? Broken pieces of glass. And he tells, I came thinking broken pieces of glass to be diamond. Right? So let's think about it. Is there a similarity between diamond and glass? No similarity. There is some similarity, right? There is shines, right? So glass shines, diamond also shines. There's some similarity. He doesn't tell I came seeking for glass and I got diamond. He tells I came seeking broken pieces of glass. Why?
It's useless.
It's useless. Okay, good. What else? Yeah, glass has some use. Broken pieces of glass. What else?
It can injure you.
Injure you. Right? The desires, the material desires which we keep in our hearts are not just useless, they can also injure us. Why?
It will lead to a cycle of birth and death.
Very good. How?
It won't satisfy us to the fullest.
Okay, but that's not injuring.
Yeah, injuring.
Yeah. How? will they create cycle of birth and death.
So basically, all the desires are stored in our subtle mind.
Yes.
And so once we have all the desires and it's not fulfilled,
Yes.
so again you have to take birth
Yeah.
to fulfill those desires.
Yeah.
Because Krishna, as the Supreme Father, he will always try to satisfy all the desires.
So what's the problem then? And my desire will be fulfilled, right?
But again, the material world filled with all the miseries.
Yeah.
So you have to suffer because of that.
Yeah, that's okay. But
That which is not natural to us will harm us. Just like a fish is not in a natural position, if it's outside, it will harm it. It will harmful to the fish.
for sure you can recognize with that, but it's a bit difficult now. Somebody who is having undergoing a normal life, you go and tell that they are suffering. It's a bit difficult to comprehend. There are people who are going in bends now. You go and tell that you are suffering. It's a bit difficult to comprehend, isn't it? That I'm suffering. I'm living quite well. Sorry, maybe you're misunderstood. Yes.
If the desires are not fulfilled, then we get into more lower nature. We lose our intelligence, and
Okay.
It is a cycle of lust,
and
anger,
then
and greed.
Okay.
So if lust is not satisfied,
Okay, but eventually, if I'm going towards it, let's say I achieve it, will I still suffer?
then you will want
temporary,
to
so-
It's temporary. So even if I achieve, it's temporary. That's the reason every time iPhone is released, it's the best iPhone ever, right? And people buy. It's the best iPhone ever. Next year again, it's the best. Year after again, it's the best. So, that's how we are stuck. We keep thinking, this will make me happy, but yeah, two days, and the mind will. The mind. Sanskrit is chitta. It needs an ashraya. It needs something to get latched on to. Right now, it's getting ashraya from Lokika Prakriti, right? But because Lokika Prakriti is temporary, it's not illusory, it is temporary. And mind feels suddenly, oh my God, I really wanted it to be lasting long, but it really is not lasting long. And there is nothing or no one in this creation who can, except Krishna, who can actually fulfill the mind to the fullest. Right? There will be always some gap. Oh, okay, maybe a person will fulfill to some extent, but then it becomes monotonous then. Right? Or a thing will fulfill to some extent, but then it again becomes monotonous, so we want to explore something else. And then so that's where the cycle comes into picture then, right? So if it was only just getting a desire, fulfilling, and then getting it, getting over it, it was okay. But then the problem comes wherein it's not just one. Eventually it'll be something else. So, coming back where we started. What else? Broken pieces of glass. I got the real jewel. But then Krishna gives it anyways. So Dhruva then takes it in the mode of humble service. Coming to, that's the desire of Dhruva. Now coming back to this shloka, what we are discussing in 6th canto, this person is saying, I don't want any of those actually. I don't want that also. Dhruva had a huge material desire. This person is sort of negating that. Na radhadipathyam, na cha parameshtyam. I don't want the sarvabhauma. Sarvabhauma is like you are de facto one person, everybody just follows. And that's the meaning of sarvabhauma. Nobody asks any question. People just come and follow you. Whatever you do, doesn't matter. So then we may think, oh, what do you really want then? So then we can go to the next shloka. Please, if you are in your phone, please, this is those who are come later. The 6th canto, 11th chapter, verse 26. Please repeat. Ajata paksha iva mataram khaga. Ajata paksha iva mataram khaga. Stanyam yatha vatsaraha. Kshud artha. Priyam priyeva yusitam vishena.
Priyam priyeva yushitam visena.
Manoravindaksha didakshate tvam. Now he is telling, there is an address here, O lotus-eyed Lord. So let's get introduced to one of the characters of this seminar series which we are doing here. For those who came later, I have named it as Cherished Dreams of Life. The first character here who is coming, O lotus-eyed Lord, is addressed towards a person by name Sankarshana. He is an expansion of Krishna, with whom this is being addressed. Sankarshana is Balaram's expansion. Balramji here, so we can meditate what is being said and read the translation. As baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them. I don't know how many of you have seen birds when they're really small, they're just out of the eggs. The mothers go and bring food for them, insects, whatever, and then this person just opens the mouth and the mother puts food inside. So this person is telling, like that baby bird who is waiting for the mother, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers. Again, now the example is of the calf and cow. The small baby, cows are always looking towards, when can I drink the milk of my mother? I want to associate with my mother. I want to go to that mother. Or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. Right? That's perhaps is not evident for those who are not married, but you can imagine it will be quite. You can put that husband as spouse maybe. When somebody is in a relationship, you always yearn to go back, right? To have that connection again. I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. And so the person is telling, I want to do direct service to you, Krishna, Sankarshana. Now, perhaps starts becoming a bit clear that this person is maybe missing something. Right? What, just from this verse, what is he missing? Or she, whoever it is. Any corollary? What do you think? What is this person missing as of now?
Love of God.
No.
Direct service.
Yes. And then he's telling, I always yearn for the opportunity, meaning that he's just really missing that, to render direct service to Krishna. We can understand the context now a little bit better. But before I get into the discussion, let's take a pause, and maybe we can also let's study a few other verses so that we can have better discussion based on that. This is verse 27 now. Just click next. Let's repeat. Mamottama shloka janeshu sakhyam samsara chakre bhamata swakarmabhihi svanmayaya tumamajadara geheshu asakta chittasya nanatha bhuyat. Now he is telling, oh my Lord, my Master, I am wandering throughout this material world as a result of my fruitive activities. Therefore, I simply seek friendship in the association of your pious and enlightened devotees. My attachment to my body, wife, children and home is continuing by the spell of your external energy, but I wish to be attached to them no longer. Let my mind, my consciousness and everything I have be attached only to you. a few things here. Now he's asking. So last shloka, the first one which we discussed, he told, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this, none of the greatest things which I could attain here, I don't want any of them. Shloka which we did before, he asked, I want a direct service. Now he's asking a few different things. Let's see. It's pretty evident from the translation. Anybody want to just let's see if you? I just want to make it interactive. What is the first one he asks for?
Friendship.
Whose friendship?
With the pious
Devotees.
people, devotees.
Yeah. So he's asking, I want friendship with all the servants of Krishna, all the devotees of Krishna. Why? Why is he telling, I want to serve?
So that they may offer opportunity to serve Krishna.
The friendship is very interesting thing if you think about it. And even this world, when we have real friendship, most of the times it's a bit difficult to find real friendship in this world because it's always give and take. You know, the relationship are based on how much can I give versus what I can get. Right? When it's surrounded by Krishna or circled around Krishna, friendship will not be based on what I can get. It's about how do we better serve Krishna together. Right? One of the missions of ISKCON, which Srila Prabhupada has established, is bringing people nearer to each other, together with each other and nearer to Krishna. So together with each other means we all come together. Right? That first part of it is fulfilled in a football game also. 100,000 people together with each other. Right? Now Cricket World Cup is starting. A lot of people are going to watch together with each other. But Prabhupada added the second part, nearer to Krishna. Right? So as an association, as a group of individuals, they're associating with each other, but then uplifting ourselves also together, nearer to Krishna. So the person is telling, I want friendship. I've been missing that. I don't have friends. How many of us feel that I don't have a friend? You don't need to feel shy. You can raise your hand. It's okay. I'm sorry, the way I study Srimad Bhagavatam is a bit personal, meaning that when I'm studying, I'm sort of trying to apply to myself. Where do I stand? How do I stand? And what is this trying to, if I put myself in this shoe, what does it mean? Right? So, if someone is really asking, I want friendship, means that he's really not having friends. Right? If somebody is fully, I don't even have time to, even in a material circle, doesn't matter. Always engaged with people, so many people coming in. They don't even have time to think, what do I want in life really? Because just too much engaged. This person is definitely, he is lacking it. I want friendship. Not just normal friendship, but friendship which is selfless. Right? Not based on, or not driven by selfish desires. All my attachment is being continuing anyways, but I don't want to be attached to any of them. Let my mind, my consciousness, and everything I have be attached only to you. Now, these prayers have similarities. This similar set of prayers we find in multiple places in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is 6th canto. In 1st canto Srimad Bhagavatam, when Cherished is about to die by the bite of Takshaka, he was cursed that in 1 week you will die. So when he heard the message delivered by the messenger of Shamik Rishi, that my son has cursed you, you will die in 1 week. Please arrange whatever necessary it is. Parikshit straight away, took out his royal garments, wore very simple sadhu clothes, and then went to the banks of Yamuna, and then there all the sages assembled. Because Parikshit was such a special person that his birth was so incredibly magical. And Krishna personally went to protect, as everybody else witnessed. his mother Uttara was subjugated to a Brahmastra which was coming to hit her and kill the embryo in the womb. She was praying to Krishna, Krishna, please come and protect this child. Anything can happen to me, I don't mind. Please protect the child. So Krishna, as Gadadhari, he went with his club and he was just circumambulating the embryo so fast. Srimad Bhagavatam even describes that, it was the size of the thumb. It was this. And he's just circumambulating around the embryo, and the child is just awestruck. My goodness, what is this? What's happening around? I was just about to get killed, and some special person is there. He's just protecting me. The guy was so attracted, awestruck with this moment that he is eventually born, and he's just looking around. Who is this person who came? Can I see him? He's just doing pariksha of everyone. His name became Parikshit. The name was Vishnu Rata, who is protected by Vishnu. So everybody thought his birth was so auspicious, and he's being cursed now to die. I want to go and witness. So all the greatest of the sages, normal people, everybody assembled. There was Vasishtha, there was Vyasa, there was Asita, there was Narada Muni. You name who, everybody is there. And Parikshit worshipped everybody appropriately and then asks, really, I want this blessings from all of you. Just only have this desire in my life that I want to be serving Krishna. I want to have friendship with all the living entities, and I want to serve Krishna in association. Okay. This is about to die, and his cherished desire is coming out now. What I really want in my life. I have been a king, I've been ruling the earth. Not only there, next I was given in charge of this earth now, which is small. Maybe next time I can get up. No. Right? I have been cursed to die now. Maybe I can get a life and I will not be cursed. He's not asking. He's telling 3 things. I just repeated myself. Can you tell if you are awake?
Serve Krishna
Serve
in
Krishna.
with devotees.
In the association of devotees, that was second. And then third, friendship with all living entities. Yeah. Everybody. All of us, we have our own preference, right? I like Raghav Prabhu quite well. Chetan also quite well. Oh, this person. He didn't talk with me last time. He gave the laddu to other person. I was in line. I didn't get it. I didn't get a slot for kirtan. Or whatever. We have our own lives. We have our own likings and dislikings to people. But the person who is above the platform wherein we all live, you can get what are they seeking for? They are seeking something, but what are they seeking? What is the quality of their seeking? Seeking something which is definitely not apparent to this normal way of living which we are undergoing. Friendship with every single living being. I don't want to have grudges against anybody. And you may feel this person was cursed by an ignorant boy. Parikshit had no sign of, I want to take a revenge. Right? So, just imagine somebody just comes and slaps you on the face for no reason. How do you feel? What is the first reaction? Pull the hand, twist the hand, throw it, right? How dare you, isn't it? So Srimad Bhagavatam makes sense to you only when we put ourselves and understand, my God, so far away I am, to be honest, I should not be even speaking. I'm just myself so far away. But somehow, God has been mercifully allowing me to speak. So I'm sharing something from Srimad Bhagavatam. But see, this can be a reality check for us. When we study Srimad Bhagavatam, this is where we can, because otherwise we'll be thinking, I'm pretty good. Good enough. I chant Hare Krishna, come to temple, do some service here. I do Kirtan also. I study Srimad Bhagavatam. I can feel, I'm pretty good. Life is fine. we study this, keep this. Have you ever thought like this? Like in the sages in Naimisharanya, they are performing their 1,000-year sacrifice. None of them is seeking, I want to get something better. Everybody is thinking, Kali Yuga is coming, Kali Yuga is bad, Kali Yuga people like us, right? Who are manda sumanda matayaha, amazingly dumb people. Right? So they are thinking, manda bhagya hi upanrita. Their destiny is such doomed, always anxious. How can they live a life which is meaningful? How many times we come to Krishna and tell, Krishna, please let everybody happy in the world. And I want to see everyone happy in this world. I want everyone's, blissful, nourished, jumping life. I want to see everybody happy. How many times do we really do that? And we come and tell, Krishna, you know what? There is some exam or there is some promotion is due. Please, my thesis is waiting. We hardly cultivate this sort of mood, and we are praying for everybody. But Vedic life in general, Sanatana Dharma is built on this theme that you hardly do seek anything for selfish desires. The idea is Sarve Jana Sukhino Bhavantu. Let everybody be happy. If there is one culture in the world which has manifested this, that it's not about me, it's about everyone else, it is this. That everyone be happy. Automatically means that I'll be also happy, isn't it? Because I'm part of everyone. So, but it's not just about me. I want everyone to be happy. So these seekings we have to cultivate eventually, right? We do live anyways. We have seekings anyways, but we have seekings which are so selfish. We have dreams which are so selfish. So why not dream big? Srila Prabhupada tells, if you are going for hunting, go hunt for a rhinoceros. At least you get something. So yeah, if I'm anyway seeking, if I'm coming in front of Krishna and asking for something, why not ask for something which is really beneficial, not just for me? Is this making sense at all? Can we connect with it? Usually we don't do that, right? We hardly come in front of Krishna have this kind of feeling. So and this is how I do this Srimad Bhagavatam in many places. In one session, there was a small girl, like 6 years, 7 years maybe. Her name is Vartika. She came to me and asked, Prabhu, how do I become a sage? This was her first session when she came for Srimad Bhagavatam. How do I become a sage? I was so happy. So, and this is how, right? Sadhu, sage is sort of translation for sadhu, and this is how we should aspire to become. Right? Sadhu is not a renunciate. Sadhu is just specifically, if we start cultivating this kind of mood, if our cherished dreams are like this, if our seekings are like this, then yes, we will be sadhu. So, coming back where we were, Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto. This was the last shloka, and let's take a quick pause to see what's the time. Almost 10.
We can continue because the bhoga is done.
Okay, sure, but let's still take a pause. I just want to hear from you all. Just to recap, we started with the story of parrot. Yes. I really hope that our discussions we had today is meaningful and we start thinking. Yeah. Otherwise, it becomes like how the person is going to session and just at the end he was only asking parrot's question, not his own question. Good. After that, we started reciting a few verses of Srimad Bhagavatam. The person is telling, I don't want Nakaprishta in literal translation means that which is away from the material creation, which is Vaikuntha. It's away. He's telling, I don't want spiritual world, I don't want liberation, I don't want an absolute command over people. I don't want to be the emperor. I don't want the heavenly enjoyments. I just want direct service. I want friendship in the association of devotees. My mind, my consciousness, everything, whatever I have, I want it to be surrendered to you, Krishna. And nothing else. Just this. This is my only desire. My entire existence, I want to surrender to you. So, that's in a nutshell. So, yes, Chetan.
Thank you for this wonderful discussion, Prabhuji. Just had some questions. Like, we see, like in this, Dhruv Maharaj says that I want direct service to you. But we know from Prahlad Maharaj's story that he said, I want to become servant of the servant. So, how do we see this?
Sure, this is not Dhruva telling, by the way. Who is telling this, we'll discuss in the afternoon.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So whoever is discussing, let's say this person is telling, I want direct service. Chetan's question is, but usually we have heard that we have seen somewhere else that people ask, I want to be servant of servant. Right? So to get to know why he's asking that is afternoon session.
Okay.
Actually, tomorrow's session.
Okay.
Yes, tomorrow morning session. So to wait a little bit. Yeah, why he's asking, I want a direct service to you. Okay.
Again, like Prahlad Maharaj says that friendship and enmity is again the same thing of the two sides of the same coin.
Mhm.
But here we see that this devotee is asking, I want friendship.
So that's contextual, right? So when we are in duality, then there are friends and enemies. If I'm above duality, there is only friendship. Not that there is nothing. Right? So when we live in this, when we are subjected to the Laukika Prakriti, we are functioning in a dual. Right? It's not that only one side. Many times somehow we focus on one side and we reject. But Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya, Shita Ushna, Sukha Dukha. Right? Not that there is only bliss. Also doesn't mean that there is only suffering. We live in a dual world. Means that there is duality. So there is what's being told there is that one has to raise above duality. But raising above duality doesn't mean that I'll be left with nothing. Yeah? Raising above duality means that I'll be sticking to only one side of it, which is friendship. In dual, you may think, oh, this person I like, this one I don't like. Friend, enemy. Sukha, Dukkha, Shita, Ushna. Another check, reality check, how much do I really feel that I'm equipoised, I'm equal to everybody. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita, right? Pandita Samadarshinaha. And you have equal vision, doesn't matter who it is. Vidya Vinaya Sampanne, Brahmani, Gavi Hastine, Shunichaya Shubhake, Pandita Samadarshina, whether it's a dog or a dog eater or a very qualified Brahmana or whoever in between. You look at them at the same way. Doesn't mean that you degrade everybody. Right? Doesn't mean that you neglect everybody. Doesn't mean that you respect everybody. It doesn't matter who they are. Right? So there is a qualification to that statement. You are Samadarshina, you could also having equal vision of rejection. I reject all of them. Right? I don't care for any of them. That's also equal vision. It doesn't matter who they are. Parents, grandparents, teachers, everybody I disrespect. Equal vision? You can call it as equal vision. It doesn't matter who they are. I offend everybody. Right? But that's not what Krishna is telling. You respect. So raising above duality doesn't mean that I just do something, whatever. I need to understand what's the positive side of it, which is only, and that's only one thing then. Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? Yes? Let's just give an option to somebody else. If they don't have, then I will come back to you. Yeah? Yes, Sumit. Hare Krishna.
Thanks, Prabhu. So bro, I was trying to hear your lecture from the kitchen.
Sure.
So you have talked a little bit about like we have to all come together and serve Krishna. Because I had to. What Chetan Prabhu told, and you just now answered that we have to be Samardarshina to everyone and everybody. So Prabhu, sometimes I felt when I am also in devotee association and doing some kind of service, different devotees have different kind of moods to do service. So Prabhu, how to also be equipoised when we are doing this service with different moods of devotees, Prabhu, who has different kind of moods, Prabhu?
Yeah, let's take the example of cooking. You are just cooking?
No, I was just helping, Prabhu.
No, yeah, okay, sure. But you are cooking anyways. Helping is also cooking still. So, but you qualified it straight away that you are helping now, right? So, means that somebody else was leading the effort, maybe. Yeah. Then your responsibility is just help. And you do that irrespective of it. You like it, you don't like it. That's the meaning of seva there. Right? You do it not putting your own ego in between that. Because there is already clear, okay, this person is leading, I'll just serve. Unless there is something on, I'll give an example. We had Janmashtami last month in temple. I also like cooking as a service, so usually I cook. Janmashtami we get a lot of visitors, 1,500 visitors, and I was busy cooking halwa in the kitchen, and then I gave the responsibility of making Simply Wonderful to a group of devotees outside. Simply Wonderful is one of my favorites. And I really wanted to make sure that this becomes the best. So now it's like there's huge amounts of it, right? And then I don't know, at least 1,500, something close to that number would have made that day. And eventually I finished cooking halwa, and then I also joined, and then we finished everything and took it, and then of course I was fasting, but then I knew a few devotees were not, so I gave that here. Yes. Prabhu, this is salty, why? It started reeling, right? Simply Wonderful cannot be salty. I gave it to one more person. Are you fasting? He said, no. Can you eat this and see? And he told, oh, I feel like puking.
Oh my.
It was really salty. And I became so, like, I can't process now, right? Because I was not a part of it in the first half when they were mixing. And my first guess was maybe they mixed salt in the place of sugar. And then I was so confused, I'm not able to process anything. And I just ate myself also, just to see what exactly is wrong. It was really salty. And I think that person who was there, you were there from the beginning, what is this? How is this? The person told, actually there was a girl who comes occasionally to temple, but she's amazing. She's really, really good person. And she happened to convince everybody that if you don't add salt, then it becomes just too sweet. Right? So she's not a cook. and there were people who have experience of cooking. Right? Now they were all seemingly humble. Right? And it became simply disaster. I hope I'm getting some context to what you're asking now. So serving doesn't mean that I just let whatever crazy things happen, right? So if things like this are happening, perhaps you should just stand up and tell, I really don't know. I'll at least go and ask Nilambar. He's there inside, and just at least bring him and then get his opinion. He's the one who is cooking. But people just she's really. Oh, let's add, and everybody they opposed, but really did stand up. And then we created 1,500 simply disasters. So now So now, when you are serving, if you are, I mean, in this case, you're not even a leader, but even if the leader does that, so then you have the right to stand up and tell, this is going crazy. Right? Everybody has a right to, of course, but then unless things like that happen, you can. Now you may ask, Prabhu, when do I decide what is crazy? You should have enough. You should study Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why, just be yourself in tune with the thought of being a servant. If you are in tune with this thought process that I am a servant, and my mind is not running to become the boss all the time, and then Krishna ultimately is the one who is going to give you enough inspiration to stand up and do things right. Otherwise, just let the mind. Maybe somebody is just somebody is telling that I want to cook strawberry shrikand today, and then your mind is, no, not strawberry, let's make mango. But the other person is in charge. So let them do it. Right? If you are in charge, then maybe you can also, this is how I want to offer to Krishna. This is my service. Right? But then you are cooking, and then Janita Prabhu comes and tells, no, Sumit, I want this to be cooked. And you just follow that. So we need to understand all the time, where is my position? Who am I really in this context? Somebody is serving, they are mistreating people, let's say, they are throwing at people, not really serving nicely. You can go and tell Prabhu. We can't so humility, Prabhupada defines humility in a very interesting way. Anybody knows what is the definition of humility?
You don't have any desire of sense gratification.
No.
That is
Being bold for Krishna.
No. 13th chapter, Krishna lists 20 items of knowledge. Starts with amanitvam. Prabhupada defines amanitvam as humility. And the definition he tells, humility means to not be anxious. You have to be really careful here. To not be anxious. To derive satisfaction of being honored by others. Right? Who can repeat? It's a small quiz.
to not be anxious to be honored by others.
No.
That's the one word I missed.
There are 3 parts of it.
To derive satisfaction.
Yeah?
Like the middle part, to derive satisfaction.
Tell the whole sentence then.
Like to be anxious, to
To
derive,
not to be anxious, to not be anxious.
not to be anxious, to derive satisfaction. I forgot the last.
Honor to get honor from.
Let's do a group work. Tell everybody take a shot.
To not be anxious, to
Yeah.
derive satisfaction from the
Being honored by others.
Yeah,
Right?
from being honored.
So that is the meaning of humility. Now, Prabhupada is so amazing that he basically takes so because many times we think humility means yes, Prabhu. Right? Doing that's how we think. Prabhupada has just taken that out of it. It's not about how this person is very humble, very sweet. What does it mean? Because he doesn't speak loud. He's always like this, or she's always like this, and you're not expressing. That's not humility at all. At least not as per Prabhupada's definition. And this is my favorite statement across all whatever Prabhupada has written, because it gives me a practical way of following. And Prabhupada is hitting the heart. It's not about how the disposition. It's about your heart. Where is that located? Because if we are doing, maybe doing like this, and maybe think, I'm really humble in my service. But while I'm cooking, I'm taking the example of cooking because you just came from it. While cooking, if I'm just thinking, I'm making this so well, and then everybody is going to come and tell Sumit, it was amazing. Right? If that's the thought, and that's exactly how we think all the time. You may tell, no, Prabhu, that's not how I think. Just analyze yourself. How will you feel when somebody comes and blasts you that, this was the worst ever. I cooked Sunday feast once, and so many devotees were even messaging me, texting, WhatsApp and Facebook, and this was the best Sunday feast ever, bro. And I was like, thank you, Krishna's mercy, right? So that's not how you can measure if you're humble, because people are appreciating you. You can't really measure your humility then. And there is one person who messaged me, this was the worst Sunday feast in 40 years. 40 years of my coming to temple, this was the worst Sunday feast ever. And my heart just literally sank, my God. And then I was thinking, that's really means that I was not humble then. Right? Because if I was really humble, then even that criticism I would take in a humble way. That's how you can measure whether I was humble or not. And this is, again, Prabhupada's definition is about your heart. Where is that? Where is your consciousness? While you do anything, it doesn't matter. You may be the best of the cooks, you may be the best of the sweepers, you may be best of anything, doesn't matter. What is your consciousness while you do that? Right? Hitting. If you start thinking about it, this will transform your life. I don't want to be thinking about, what is the sort of outcome I'm going to get for whatever I'm doing now. Three parts. Don't be anxious, and we are anxious usually, and our whatever even service is well received. We become anxious about it. To derive satisfaction, being honored by others. Think, this is how I become happy. It's very subtle, extremely subtle. It's not about doing this at all. What is there? You may be doing this, but in the heart you're thinking, come on. Right? So, is it okay?
Yes, bro.
Some context to how we can do it. And then you should have, studying Srimad Bhagavatam will give you a perspective of how people have dealt with these kind of situations, right? So, and then also will give you some nice tools, like how Narada Muni told to Dhruva that there is a very simple way to be happy. You respect your seniors, be friends with equals, be compassionate to those who are less than you. Very simple. Just not adapting. Okay? Any other thoughts?
Just
Yes.
small question.
Sure.
That verse, Arvinda Akshara was what he said. So whenever this term comes, it means it is Sankarshan.
No. In this context, it is Sankarshan. The person, I just wanted to introduce the character because there was somebody who is being addressed. Ravinda means lotus. Ravinda Akshay is lotus flower. Eyes which look like lotus flower, right? Which are like lotus. So Ravinda Akshay. Usually used to refer Krishna. Krishna is any expansions of Krishna. Every single limb of Krishna is like lotus. It's so delicately formed. Mother Kunti prays Namah Pankaja Nabhaya, Namah Pankaja Maline, Namah Pankaja Netraya, Namaste Pankaja Angre. Your Nabhi is like lotus. You're wearing lotus garlands. Your eyes are like lotus. In fact, your every single limb of the body is like lotus. So that's Kunti's prayer. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
I just want to ask. Sorry.
Get some.
Because I don't have so much background Hindi and I don't understand all the Sanskrit, what it means. So you explained the name of Parikshit Maharaj. What does it mean?
Pariksha means examination. So, like testing, examination. Pariksha. So he would, when he was born, he would check, is this the person, is this the person, is this the person, is this the person I saw? I saw somebody when I was in the womb. So he would do this examination. So then his name became Parikshit, and he was always trying to see if this is the person who came to protect me in the womb. Yeah? Okay. Is that okay?
Yes.
Sure, thank you. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhu,
Thank
you
you.
talked about friendship. So, like, what are the characteristics of, the ideal friendship, and can you give, like, anything from Srimad Bhagavatam, like a past, story?
Yeah, there are many. Right? We have real friendship. friendships which we discuss. One classic example is that with everybody perhaps knows is Krishna and Sudama. There are examples of prachetas who are serving, of course they were brothers, but they were serving cooperatively. The first part is what is the meaning of selfless service, selfless friendship. That basically means that I am with this person, I am ready to do whatever this person wants or needs, not putting my own ego in between. And I am just ready to do anything it takes to make this person happy. That is the meaning of friendship. And so my whole just living, and that's why I was saying this is sublime to have that friendship like that in modern context, where we are, everybody is sort of more focused about how do I become that, raise myself. So if you just start doing for others, maybe we're feeling left out, sort of. Too much. It's good so once in a while eating pizza together is fine, but having selfless, perhaps maybe we're also afraid that the other person may take us for granted. Right? So that, and it happens usually. You start doing things for others and then you lose your own even self-respect, sort of. They start taking things for granted. But in a real friendship, both the people are doing that, not just one-sided. Not one person is doing, the other person is just receiving. When both are doing that, that's when it is selfless. So, when Vishnu appeared to Prachetas, he tells Prabhupada's another fantastic purport, where Vishnu tells that I'm most impressed with how you have cooperatively served me. They were standing in the water for thousands of years and then were doing austerity to please Krishna. So when Vishnu comes, he doesn't tell that, oh, you stood in the water and I'm impressed with you. That's how you have cooperatively served me. That's what I'm impressed with. So when we have real friendship and then we use that friendship to serve Krishna, Krishna becomes very happy because then we are cooperating. That's the meaning ultimately, that we are cooperating. Friendship could be also in other matters wherein together we watch a football game. But then it's more of like on a social basis. It's temporary, has all the conditionings of whatever we have been discussing. But if we can dovetail that to Krishna, if we can find a person with whom we can share our heart, so Prabhupada tells that association need not be hundreds of people. He wrote a letter to Mother Yamuna. You can be just with one other person. You can just have one more person with whom you are associating and serving Krishna together. So, the classic example is how a friend in need, how he treats with the other person is Krishna and Sudama. There are also lots of other wrong examples, how it is not. Right? Like Vidura and Drona, not Vidura and Drona, Drupada and Drona. Right? So in the beginning they were in the Gurukul, they were best of the friends, and then eventually Drupada promised Drona that if you are a Brahmana, I'm going to become a king. If you ever need anything, please come and ask. And eventually when Drona was in need, he goes and asks Drupada, and Drupada feels ashamed. Such a poor Brahmana is my friend. He just rejects. No, you can't be my friend. So a lot of negative, what is not friendship is also described. And lots of examples for how people also take advantage of someone's being, wanting to be a friend. But then ultimately from our side we can only, at the end, the best friend we have is the common. All of us have the best friend, the same best friend. And Krishna himself has declared that. Suhridam Sarvabhutanam, the 5th chapter, Bhagavad Gita. Bhoktaram Yatitapasam Sarvalokam Heshwaram Suhridam Sarvabhutanam Jatvam Shanti Pritchate. You just figure out that best friend who is there with all of us. Closest, Suhrud. In English it's you call friend, best friend, so-called friend, whatever. But in Sanskrit, there's different names for each of them. And Suhrit is a superlative form of it because that's like heart to heart. Right? So that's Suhrut. Hrut is heart. Suhrut. Closest. That's literally, it's in quite literal form. Krishna is the closest to our heart. Right? So we need to eventually try to establish that friendship with Krishna. Never going to fade away, ever. Okay? Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Yes?
Guruji, in friendship, sometimes it so happens that the friend expects something from us which may not be socially even acceptable, or something that something wrong. And as you define friendship to be like, we should be able to do anything and everything for our friend. So in that situation, so it may be very difficult for us to be able to meet the expectation, or it may be very a wrong thing to do socially. So two things, very difficult for us and socially unacceptable sometimes. So at that time, when we see the definition of friendship to be like, do everything for the friend.
Yes, sometimes it also perhaps then means that you don't do it, just to let the other person grow. Right? As I said, it can't be one-way street. Friendship is not one-way street. Only one person does. It's not friendship then. It's between two people, right? And both have to be in sync. In the purest form, perhaps you don't need to even speak and understand each other's hearts. So, in the conditioned state, especially when the other person is not really reciprocating the way it's supposed to be, then there may be unwarranted expectation that you do so much. It's a one-way street. If that person also does a lot for you without constraints, then you should also do it perhaps. But if the other person is just demanding that you do this, then it's not friendship. Right? Then you should also then think what is best. So maybe then for the larger better, you just let the person do whatever. In psychology, there is a method. If a person is undergoing situations and is not ready to accept good instructions, is not ready to change, then you let them fall faster, let them collapse faster, harder. And then they will come back to senses, and then they come and seek, and then you help. Right? And don't feel anything in the process. Just let them. It's like a flower is blooming. You can't go and artificially, it will take until tomorrow, I'll just open it up today. You only spoil it. And just let the flower come out in its own pace. Caterpillar, you may see from the butterfly to become, right? It's a bit painful. You may say, I'll just go and cut everything myself. You're only harming. Right? Let the person undergo. They will become. Right? So, caterpillar becoming butterfly, the way on. So, the point is that sometimes we just need to let go. It's okay. Our ego is telling, no, you should, but you should. I should just be. It's better if they do it. And if you had real relationship, they will come back to you. Okay. Anything else? Yes.
I have a question not really regarding the topic.
No problem.
Just want to understand what are the key differences between the Bhava Bhakti and the Prema Bhakti?
So in the bhakti process there are 9 stages. Starts with Shraddha, in sincerity. You sincerely start applying the process. There is some sincere seeking to begin with. And then there is sadhu sangha. You associate with devotees. Then there is sadhana. You perform as a daily dinacharya. You sit down, you chant Hare Krishna mantra, you study Srimad Bhagavatam, do service. And then there is a steep uphill called Anartha Nivritti. Means that lust, anger, greed, envy, illusion, all these things which are there in the heart are getting purified in the association of devotees with the help of sadhana. Right? That's a steep hill. I don't know how many of you have the experience of riding a cycle uphill. You do it quite a lot. Come very fast. Go half the distance maybe, and then you slow down eventually. And eventually, if it was really steep, then you have to get down, right? Then you have to start pushing the cycle, right? Then mind is telling, hey, God, I just better turn around and just go the other way. It's very fast. Right? So that's how the feeling will be in Bhakti also. God, like in the beginning I came, it was amazing prasadam, everything good. I also felt nice, great. But then slowly you'll be exposed to be very honest with you, in my life before I started practicing Bhakti, I felt that I was the best person. Right? There is nothing wrong in me. I am the best. That's how I thought. Everything, whatever I'm thinking is the best. I am the definition of goodness. That's how I would think it. It's real. Very honest. And I started Bhakti and everything. And the first thing which happened is, I'm so ashamed. And that's what happens. The first process is the process of cleaning. Another thing is that process of cleaning. It's steep. One has to be then, in that process, one has to be having utsaha, nishchaya and dhairya. One has to be having enthusiasm, having firm determination, I'll do it. And then patience to go with it. It's a slow process. It's not that you came and you did something and then in 1 year, 2 years, there is no timetable at all that when exactly you will hit that mark. Right? When you're running a race, you know, okay, I only need to run this much. You may be last, but you cross the line, right? Doesn't matter. But this is not a race at all. There is no goal as such, which is in my control. That makes Bhakti a very interesting process. That is the only process wherein you may apply whatever amount of efforts you want, result is not up to you. Right? It doesn't matter. So, you can't put Bhakti in a framework, man. So you have to be just patient. Let Krishna reveal. Once that stage is done, then you are stable. Right now our Bhakti is fluctuating. Sometimes, I do feel sometimes when the Janana Maharaj is singing Kirtans, I feel like my hairs are standing up and then I feel crying. I feel really happy and some transcendental experiences, but it's so momentary and there's not really, I'm not in that level all the time. Go back. I'm like, oh, I go back. So, my life is a sinusoid. Right? So, Bhakti is like that for me right now. So, Nishtha means it's stable. Brahma Bhuta Prasanatma Na Shochiti Na Kankshati. You are, that's the meaning of equal vision also. You're looking at everybody because you're not recognizing any bodies anymore. You don't refer, okay, this is my friend or enemy. The underlying meaning is that I don't distinguish between the bodies. I see only Paramatma within everyone. And that is the only vision I have. That's Nishtha. And once that stage is crossed, then there is asakti, and there is real interest in performing bhakti. Real interest. Right now the interest it's on a fluctuating ground. It's not based in Nishtha. And then there is ruchi, meaning that I'm able to taste now fruits of bhakti, what it really means to chant Hare Krishna mantra. When Rupa Goswami is chanting Hare Krishna mantra, he feels that I need to have thousands of mouths and thousands of ears to recite the mantra and hear the mantra. And I do it, I feel like, my God, when is it going to get over? I know, okay, done. Okay. There is really no taste. We do it, but the real taste is not there. We have real taste. It's like, somebody is showing us the mango and then, explaining the mango, and then we've only seen the mango from distance. We really don't understand what is this fruit. I have no idea. And then there is bhava. So bhava then means that, and this is all happening in this life, right? And this is practical. It's not like something which is theoretical. Bhava means I'm living life like this, like everyone else. I'm definitely I'm having a body and everything, but then in this body I can have episodes wherein I can actually associate with Krishna in a different reality, a different dimension. So that's bhava. Prema is in association with Krishna all the time. It's not in this body anymore. Okay?
Okay. Yeah. So basically, once you reach to the level of bhava, still there is chance that you can fall down, right? Because
You can.
the Bharat Maharaj story,
Yes.
so he reached to the level of bhava, but not the prema, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
but for us, most important thing,
Anartha nivritti.
yes. Bharat Maharaj's question is, it's postdoctoral research. I am in kindergarten. Yeah. Let's not even think, oh, you can fall down from there. That's not even a question which we need to think right now. Kindergarten, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Chant Hare Krishna mantra, serve, study Srimad Bhagavatam. That's where we focus right now. Get anartha nivritti done. And then it needs a lot of conscious efforts. Right? Many times we start analyzing bhakti, it becomes too mechanical. Not living a mechanistic way of thinking. We should just capture our mind the moment it starts thinking things which are really not needed at all. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam describes it to give us an idea that without association, even in there, one may fall down. However, right now, I need to focus. I need to be very clear where I stand, what should I do. So, if I can do that, then mind will come to a streamlined focus that, okay, this is what is expected out of me, I'll do this. Okay?
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, sure. Let's take from Prabhu. You directed a drama, right? I remember last time. What's your name? I forgot. Amit. Yeah.
So, Prabhu, I have one question. In the 9 stages that you stated, I had heard in one of the lectures in ISKCON Berlin that one of the senior devotees stated, the stage of Krishna Prem cannot be achieved by staying in this material body. And even if you do, and people will start calling you mad or someone, like basically when we see some people who have psychiatric problems and they're roaming around the streets, that is the kind of stage you will get into when you achieve Krishna Prem. So in a material body, you cannot really achieve Krishna Prem. So if not, then if when you leave the material body, how do we know, like how do we really realize ourselves that we are still stuck in the lower stages, or we have really achieved Krishna Prem? How does that consciousness get developed within us?
The first part of it, that a devotee spoke about it, so I don't know the context, what exactly they were referring, but understanding your question, I would like to refer back to what I was telling. What's your name? Vaibhav. Is that these are postdoctoral questions, right? What happens then? Yeah, you can have a curiosity, but we need to let the mind know that right now, imagine, let's understand it in a context. Imagine this is a box. This is not a box. This is open here. It's hollow. But imagine this is a box. Like I keep a diamond inside, right? The diamond is thinking about outside. What can for the diamond is a non-sentient. It's not sentient. I keep a cat inside. Let's say. I close the door. How much the cat will know what the other people are doing? How much will it know?
Nothing.
And cat starts thinking what all could be doing. Because it saw me while closing the door. And cat starts developing hypotheses, theories. Right? It can think, it can do all the things. But what is the real question cat should be thinking?
What do I get?
Get out of it.
Right? So that's where we are. I apologize if this is not making sense, but that's how I pragmatically look at life. Right? So what's going to happen later is for later. Right now, most important thing is that I need to, because my mind is not even able to sit and focus on Hare Krishna mantra, and better do that. Once anartha nivritti happens, everything else will be revealed. Right? Because as such, there is nothing to prove here. As such, there is nothing to achieve here. Everything is there also already inside. Right? Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriyai. No matter how much I try, these topics are beyond me. So technically, yeah, Acharyas have some acharyas have spoken about it. So we tell, yeah, yes, it is a bit difficult to exhibit Krishna prema in this body because the body has a limitation. So in that context, it is right. It's also right that Bhakti Yoga Thakur entails from bhava to prema is, prema is achieved only in the spiritual body then. However, these topics are so much far beyond from where we are right now that we are like the cat in the box. I can think, I can hypothesize. The most important question right now is that how do I really apply myself and get anartha nivritti done? Right? If you want to think deeper about it, I can also give some even quantum physics. If you start at the end of the day, it starts becoming you're not really thinking about matter, spirit anymore. It's just spirit. Everything is spirit. Our vision is defective. We think everything to be matter. Right? So that's just a line for you to think, just explore more. Right? So you'll not be really then your vision has to be then perfect. Right? You just don't even feel matter at all. Everything is Vishnu's presence. Right? That's the stage. Now, if you reach that stage, yes, one may perhaps will become a bit psychotic, right? If they're not able to contain themselves. But yeah, postdoctoral research question. Okay. Yes. Anybody else? Because we have. Okay, all the people who have asked the questions are asking the question. It's okay. So yes, Mataji, you can ask.
Like, what is the most important thing in overcoming anartha nivritti?
Yeah, it's already also told, right?
Chanting, you said attending.
Sadhana is the only process, right? There is association, of course. So, in our process, bhakti is not individual. We are not focusing on just how much I can do myself. It's about group efforts, and when we do it, so if it is just me, then it's just one person's effort. If it's just other person, it's one person's effort. But if we do it together, it suddenly becomes exponentially amazing, right? So Krishna is more pleased because when you're with another person, what happens is that your ego is constantly being attacked. And especially if you're wanting to become humble, if you want to serve the other person, it means that your ego is being constantly under attack. And we need to cool down. Okay, I need to serve. I'm servant. I need to serve. Right? So that's the process of cleaning. If we think that by eating nice prasad, that's how I am going to get Krishna praying. Yeah, there is possibility of that. But the realistic possibility is that I will be under constant mental struggle. Right? Because people are going to mistreat me perhaps, or I will not be getting what I really want to do in my life. Maybe things are happening which are not really in my control. Mind will get into struggle mode. We surrender to Krishna. And in that struggle, we surrender to Krishna, and that's when purification happens. So, and it may be a bit scary to think like that, but unfortunately, it's the reality. Everybody who has achieved perfection has undergone trial and tribulations. They have really, maybe they have performed austerities or whatever, but that's just in a different context. In this context, it means that my ego needs to be purified and not through eating prasada. So if again, a pointer for you to think, how will the ego purify then? Ego means it's so much of strong feeling of me. How will it get purified? Has to get destroyed. How will that happen? Right? And there will be situations which will force us to do that. And if we use those situations right, then we surrender to Krishna, and that's when purification will start happening. If you want to make it fast forward, we can also just learn from others. So this is how everything is going on. I will adapt myself automatically. But still, there will be situations where there will be a question mark for sure. Here is the option. What do you do? Do you surrender to Krishna? You want to take care of yourself. Right? Okay. Yes.
So last Friday was a Bhadra Purnima, and many got the Bhagavatam as a gift.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah. And many are also reading the Bhagavatam.
Amazing.
So, yeah. So can you please guide how do you study the Bhagavatam so that you can...
Thank you for the wonderful question. This is my favorite question. Right. So, Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Right? This is not a literature. This is Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of our acharyas, he tells that see, when we say that Krishna's color is like the dark cloud, from dark cloud to red, that's an upamalankara. Right? You have seen this, you are trying to equate this to something which you are not seeing. Because Krishna's color is not really something which you can see with material eyes. Right? But there is something which is close. Right? Shyam Sundar Krishna. It's something which you have perceived and then you are trying to superimpose that. But when we say Srimad Bhagavatam's Krishna, Vishwanath Chakravarti tells that this is not upamalankara. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. So Krishna left the earth, Bhavama Leela was over, and then Srimad Bhagavatam appears. This is Krishna. So if you take Srimad Bhagavatam and then understand this foundation, and this is Krishna I'm interacting with, and become a clean slate, not having anything preconceived in the heart, and just start consuming. Basically means reading. Right? And Srila Prabhupada has given his heart out on top of that. Especially from the first canto, masterpiece. So, and then of course every other canto. My favorite section is the one which we are going to discuss tomorrow. So, if you ask about how do you do it, well, you should. The question is like, how do I eat? Right? Well, you have to eat every day. You have to eat 3 times maybe, and then eat nicely. Don't get distracted. Not with the phone, and right. So that's how you do it. If that's difficult, you should. If eating 3 times is difficult a day, and at least eat once. If that's also difficult, maybe you can see, okay, maybe once a week. Yeah. So I do it usually like systematic. Myself sitting with Bhagavatam, I do it once a week. Just sit with it. Here and there, and whenever I have time, also I keep reading. But once a week is just my time with Bhagavatam. Nothing else. Actually, this time Saturday mornings, but I am with Bhagavatam anyways. So that's what I do. Right? That's an exclusive time with Bhagavatam. There are different ways of studying. One of the ways could be that to get a context of what you are studying, you can just study the verses if you know Sanskrit. If you don't know, then verses and translations. So you get the context of the whole Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna, and it will interact with you if you also want to interact. Many times people get a bit totally sidetracked and just get disinterested because they can't establish context of what's going on in Bhagavatam by studying 2D. So one of the ways could be that you study Bhagavatam in a way you are studying in one setup, you are just studying the verses, so you are getting to know what's going on. Then parallelly, maybe in another time, also happening parallelly, is you are studying Srila Prabhupada's purport. Right? But that can go maybe a little slow because sometimes purports are long, and then you go to the next thing, you may have difficulty in connecting what was previous sloka. So I do that also. Right? You study the whole thing, get to know, oh, this is what it is, and then you study the purports. Yeah, some thoughts. Okay.
Thank you.
But please do consume. Most important thing is to read. Just read it. Okay. Yes. No, Chetan.
Prabhuji,
I can stop whenever you guys want. Okay. Yes. 11:50.
Last question.
I can go on, no problem. But if there is a timing here, I don't know what exactly.
During
is the procedure.
Prasadam, if anybody has questions, they can ask.
Okay, I'll combine 2-3 questions in one.
Let's just see if
Yeah.
Sumit, what time should we stop? Like stop.
It's
Now?
Bro, it's like we are already over time. Like
You're already over time, so it doesn't matter anymore. Or should I stop right now?
no, bro, please. maybe
One
Chetan,
question.
this last
The last question. So then, should we ask if anybody else, because Chetan already asked enough questions. Anybody else okay, doesn't seem like. Yes, go ahead.
Prabhuji, after bhajan kriya comes anartha nivritti, right? So, and is it true that bhajan kriya starts only when we get initiated? Or how is it?
Initiation means you accept a guru in your heart. So it will start from the day you accepted a guru in your heart.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And anartha nivritti, like
Because any Vedic process has no meaning if you don't have a guru. It doesn't matter how much sincerely I do. If you don't have a guru, any Vedic rituals, procedures, chanting, japa, yajna, tapa, dhan, nothing has meaning if you don't have a guru. So from that context, the day you accept a guru in your heart, that's when it starts.
okay. And like anartha
At least to the principle of Guru Tattva. Right? We should accept that. I need guidance. It not be one person. Maybe some people have difficulty to choose who. I'm not really sure who it is. I need to have the understanding of Guru Tattva and surrender to that. I need guidance. Right? Then it can start. Go ahead.
Yeah, so anartha nivritti is like some devotees came to me and I was having a conversation and they said that we have been chanting since a long time and following the principles also, but now suddenly all the bad qualities, they are coming up again, and like even to the verge of breaking negative principles, and then they were like now when will our initiation like, so I was just wondering now what to say, like what as you said, very wonderful thing that we should let the bird bloom into a flower by itself and not forcefully like do it, or even the example of a caterpillar, like just let it happen and the caterpillar will become a butterfly eventually. But then how to see this with that?
Yeah, I mean, if you are in a position to guide them, you should tell them that here it is. But sometimes we make it too mechanical. We need to. At the end of the day, all it matters is how, where do I position myself in giving that message. If I position myself in an egoistic, proud place that this person is just not, I am better, and then I tell the same message, or I be a humble servant, very well understand that could be my position tomorrow. Like, very well could be. And then I want this person to help me that time. Right? That's a bit also confronting, but we need to really understand it could happen very well. Right? Nobody is untouchable here. Every person is fallible. You have one person who is infallible, Achyuta, that's Krishna. Everybody else is fallible. Right? Krishna is that one person who doesn't. So I need to understand my position and then take it from there. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So we end then. Thank you so much. Sumit asked me to stop. So
No, just a request I asked you, right? So if anybody has any lead for a space to rent.
Okay. Yes, please help our Prabhu if anybody has a place. Thank you all very much. Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Bhagavatam ki jai. I hope to see you all in the afternoon. What time is 4 o'clock?
4 o'clock is the class.
4? So we'll get to know about who is speaking, why he's speaking, and tomorrow some other question to Chetan's question, or answer to Chetan's question. Why he is asking for direct service. Okay? Thank you all. Hare Krishna.
Nilambar Prabhu ki jai.